Greg Lampar trying to do it as well. All right, so here we go. Mallory Carroll and Tim Ortiz. Boats fired up on the hold rope. Capsules go down. All eyes on Mallory Carroll for this one. How about 560 with a 165 miles an hour. Mallory Carroll goes to the top. She was 003 red, 560 with a 165 at 20, and Tim Ortiz gets knocked down to second. Mallory Carroll to the top. I don't know if Tim Ortiz threw the blower belt off or what, but he hit the throttle, went nowhere, and Mallory went straight down Broadway and straight to the top. 560 with a 2 at 165.20. We need Tim Ortiz's truck and trailer back to the end ramp, please. Tim Ortiz's truck and trailer back to the end ramp. So coming up on a single is going to be Steve Walls out of San Angelo, Texas, driving Hydro Commando in the Performance HVAC right-hand side. Fast Line Fabrication, FPC Services, Walls Tractor Repair, Buddy E.S. Johnson, Extreme Barbecue, Wayman Pitchford Incorporated, Joe Yarborough, Palmetto Distillery. Thank you to Michelle, Bruce, Sella, Jason, Shanna, Tag, Shane, Seth, and Paul. He's currently sitting number 11 with a 590 with a 3. And yesterday on his second qualifying run, the boat just started drifting toward the center line. Took out a couple of buoys. Took out a timing sensor. Knocked a hole in the boat. They went and fixed the boat overnight. So this is going to be the ultimate test for Steve Walls. All right, so the quest for the missing parachutes turned up empty, I do believe. So, Henry Baney, I don't know where your parachutes are, brother, but rescue didn't find them. All right, so as soon as rescue gets out of the way, we'll send Steve Walls in Hydro Commando. All right, going yellow. Steve Walls, well, there we go. Boat's up, fired, and ready to go. Steve Walls, 596.2, 153.33 miles an hour, 596. He will not improve on his 590 with a 2 from yesterday, so he will stay number 11 in qualifying. It was basically just to make sure it gets down the racetrack, make sure that the repairs that we done to the hull of it stays good to go. All right, so our next pair of Pro Modified is going to be Greg Lampar and Kevin Helm. Greg Lampar driving anger management out of Comfort, Texas. He'll be over on the right side, the Performance HVAC lane of the racetrack. Driving for Ford of Bernie, Texas. Cocky Rooster Bar, Jeffro Custom Silk Screening, Ted Basil at Mac Tools, Bernie Web Design. Special thanks to Randy Benson for the help to get here. Thanks to Rodney and Pamela Piper for the support. And Kevin Helm driving the Woody from Moore, Oklahoma. He'll be over the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand side for Honeysuckle Legal Group, Performance HVAC, RB Props, ID Solutions, Mr. Paint, Liberty Homes, Dan and Robin at Superior Fiberglass, Carrie and the Key Team at Providence Realty. It has been 6 years since Kevin Helm has driven the Woody in Pro Modified. He is currently sitting number 12 at 616.4, and Greg Lampar sitting number 9 at 576.7. 10 seconds left on the countdown. And Kevin Helm, 586.1, 155.17 miles an hour. Greg Lampar, 575.3, 158.70. Kevin Helm stays number 11. Greg Lampar will be number 9 after that 575. So a nice step up for Kevin Helm. Not going to step up in qualifying position, though. And that'll bring us into my favorite category in drag boat racing ever. It's top alcohol flat bottom. And the first pair up is looking like Bill Miller and Marcus Kinsey. So we get everything switched over. Get them lined up and ready to go. The funny cars of drag boat racing. And if you're at all familiar with land drag racing, you know exactly why we call top alcohol flat bottoms the funny cars of the water. Because with funny cars on land, you never know what's going to happen. Well, with alcohol flatties, you never know what's going to happen. And Marcus Kinsey, driving Bad Company, is going to be on the Parker Brothers Roofing left side out of Marble Falls, Texas. For J&M Kinsey Plumbing, special thanks to Tony Scarlotta for all the help. And Bill Miller, driving Party to the Max. The Performance HVAC right-hand lane, driving for Max Davis out of Taylor, Texas. For Max Heavy Haul, More Trucking, Elite Products, Rapid Photos, Texas Automotive Equipment, Robin Banks, CP Carrillo Rods and Pistons, the Blower Shop of Boise, Idaho, Monty's Compressors, and the crew chief, Terry Moore, and the crew of Joe Davis, Dwayne Gilbert, and Mark the Wire God, who is fighting for his life with COVID-19 and pneumonia. Back home in Round Rock right now, all of our prayers, all of our best wishes are sent to the Wire God, Mark. Get well soon, buddy. We'll see you at Phoenix. Well, Bill Miller, they have been fighting something electronic with that boat. I talked to Max Davis yesterday, and he said, you know what? He said, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, and nothing's worked. Talked to Bill Miller, and he goes, you know what? Max actually Googled what was wrong with it, and maybe we have it figured out. So they actually have a new coil on it now. They think the coil was the problem the entire time. Put a new coil on it, and hopefully it fixes it. Bill's only been able to muster 652.4. Marcus Kinsey's been 614.1. Marcus number 4, Bill Miller number 5 right now. We're making sure everything is in tip-top shape. And we're ready for Marcus Kinsey and Bill Miller. I want to give a huge thank you to everybody watching at home on RacerH2O.com or RacerH2O on YouTube. We wish you guys were out here with us in beautiful El Reno, Oklahoma. It's a little warm out here, but you know what? We're making do. And we're enjoying some really fast, really good drag boat racing. We hope you are enjoying it inside your air conditioner, sitting in your recliner at home, luckies. If you will, send some of that air conditioning this way. As we fire up the first pair of top alcohol flat bottoms, qualifying round at number 3. Marcus Kinsey in the near lane. Bill Miller in the far lane. Do they have the problem fixed in Bill Miller's hot rod? Max Davis has got his fingers crossed. He's got his toes crossed. He's hoping that this thing's go down there and goes 530s. Bill Miller 634.7, 136.89, and the bugs continue to bite. Bill Miller and that top alcohol flat bottom team. Marcus Kinsey 627.7, 124.25 miles an hour. And I don't believe that the problems have been resolved for Bill Miller and that Party to the Max team. Neither one of them going to move off the number 4 or 5 qualifying position right there with that. Max Davis, try Google one more time. See if we can find the problem. Here comes Bill Diaz and Tony Scarlotta. Bill Diaz in the left lane, the Parker Brothers Roofing side of the racetrack out of Bullhead City, Arizona. Driving for Nancy Davis Racing. We miss her every day of our lives. Aquatic Balance Pool Service, Industry Tire, Maniac Racing, Infamous Brewing, the Campbell Family, Brady Truck Service, DSM Racing, RB Props, Robin Banks, Stacy Smith, Drag Boat Review, JJ Marley Ranch. Special thanks to Steve Brady for Brady's Truck Service, the crew of Jeff, Todd, Straight, Brian, Marsha, Kevin, Big Ricky, Stewie, Nancy Stacks, Daniel and Candace, and Berto. Bill currently qualified number 3 at 573. And Tony Scarlotta driving for Matt Brown, the boat he calls Shazam, out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma, for Matt Brown Trucking, Jet Performance Marine, Electro Freeze, and special thanks to the entire crew. He'll be in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. He has been a best of 5:30 with a 4 for the number 2 qualifying spot. Only Dan Kirkman sits above Tony Scarlotta. Matt Brown is watching at home, eager to see what his boat's going to do here. Nice pass for both. 6:46.3, 132 for Bill Diaz, but Tony Scarlotta 5:43.3, 162.47 miles an hour. Some more big speed out of that Tony Scarlotta Shazam team. And Bill Diaz 6:46.3, 132.44. And I'm sure there are some bugs that are biting that team right there, because that is not what they had planned. And Dan Kirkman not going to make this run. Of course, if you were watching on Racer H2O yesterday, you noticed the big boomer that happened when Dan Kirkman crossed the finish line. They had the entire motor out of the thing. We're going through it. Did not have enough time to put it back together to be back up here for Q3. But Dan Kirkman still number 1 at 5:29.1. But Tony Scarlotta, another big booming mile an hour of 162.47 right there. All right, so the next boats getting put in at the end ramp are Top Alcohol Hydro. And I see Marty Logan and I see Kent Price. So we'll have at least 2 alcohol hydros. I believe Buzzy has pulled out. Rick Allen will be in his own hot rod, and Rick is currently the number 1 qualifier in top alcohol hydro at 441. He went 204 miles an hour. Did Marty Logan? I believe it was Marty. No, it was Rick Allen. Rick went 204 miles an hour yesterday on that 441 pass. Absolutely outstanding. But Marty Logan is the big speed player here. Went better than 207 miles an hour in Wheatland, Missouri just a couple of months ago. We're eager to see what top alcohol hydro can lay down here at Lake El Reno. All right, y'all, I got a parts call. Racers, listen up. Got a parts call. I need a 5-inch blower snout. A 5-inch blower snout. If you have one, Lee Warren is looking for one. A 5-inch blower snout. If you have an extra sitting in the trailer that you can let lend to Lee Warren, they are desperately in need of one. A 5-inch blower snout. Take it over there to Lee Warren and say win pits, please. Hey, somebody from Steve Walls' crew, we have your parachute up here at the timing tower. Steve Walls, if you want your parachute back, send somebody up here to the timing tower to get it, brother. So we want to thank some of our sponsors that have made the entire 2021 season possible for the Southern Drag Boat Association. Huge thank you to David Kirkland Racing, Nitrous Outlet, Pat Kinsey Drywall, Good Neighbor Storage in Liberty Hill, Texas, Drag Boat Review Magazine, of course, T-shirts and more, WCR Construction, United Reynolds, Electro Freeze, Racers Emergency Support Program, and Magnum Trailers. Without those guys, it would not be possible to come out here and do this as many times a year as we do. So huge thank you to those companies, and especially here this weekend, Performance HVAC. Huge thank you to Kevin Helms for not only supporting us by being a racer, but also sponsoring one of our lanes here this weekend, as well as Parker Brothers Roofing. You guys are awesome, and we love it whenever the local companies get involved with us whenever we come into town. So thank you. We also have T-shirts. The food vendors are set up back there as well. And speaking of Drag Boat Review Magazine, racers, race fans, if you want to keep up with Drag Boat Review Magazine, go grab yourself a subscription. They will send you a copy of Drag Boat Review Magazine once every month, all year long. And you can keep up with not only the SDBA, but KDBA, ADBA, and all other drag boat associations, as well as like Smoke on the Water and the Oklahoma Hot Boat Association. They go to drag boat races all across the country, and they do a fantastic job being ambassadors for our sport. So go see Miss Beverly Stokes, Mr. Tim. They are right back there behind the end ramp. When you're grabbing yourself something to eat, walk over there, grab a T-shirt, and sign up for your Drag Boat Review Magazine subscription. All right, here we go. Top alcohol hydro. Kent Price going to be on a single. Did not make a run yesterday. He's going to be in Black Dragon out of Porter, Texas. Special thanks to Onyx Services and Ronnie, Danny, Haskell, and Jake. Kent Price, first run of the weekend here in Top Alcohol Hydro. And Kent Price straight down Broadway, 452 for 200.47 miles an hour for Kent Price. First hit of the weekend, a 200-mile-per-hour pass for Kent Price at Top Alcohol Hydro, 452 for 200 miles an hour. And we're going to get Rick Allen and Marty Logan pulled to the hold rope. They will round out Top Alcohol Hydro. But a nice pass for Kent Price. First time down the racetrack, 452, 200 miles an hour. Adrian Huff, call me on the radio, please. Adrian Huff, call me on the radio. I need modified eliminator. Modified eliminator to the end-ramp, please. Modified eliminator to the end-ramp. Top eliminator, be on standby. Quick eliminator. Get them warmed up. Here comes Rick Allen driving Total Chaos out of Fort Smith, Arkansas. Coming up in the Parker Brothers Roofing. Left-hand side, and Marty Logan, the Living the Dream team out of Midlothian, Texas. Driving for House of Color Motorsports, Lucas Oil. Protect the Harvest, Turnkey Speed Shop. FPC Services, James Brown, Judy Sheffield, Ellis County Barbecue, Dennis DeWeird, MTR Performance, NW Radio, TD's Transmission, Chris Kyle Frog Foundation, Texas Outrigger Boats, CCR Fiberglass, Marine Dynamics, Gumby Performance, Stevie Jackson Race Cars, Michael Furr Golf Exhibitions, Dean Wingard Photo, MartyLogan.com, and RFC RESP. Marty Logan's been 458 with a 6, and Rick Allen's been 441.7. They're better than 204 miles an hour. All right, so rescue is down at the top end of the racetrack, checking out the water, checking out the wind. All right, we're going yellow. Firing up Rick Allen and Marty Logan. Top alcohol hydro. Well, there we go. Marty Logan's fired up. Rick Allen trying to get his restarted. There he goes. 15 seconds left on the countdown. How about Rick Allen? 441 with a 3, 203.74 miles an hour. Marty Logan, 453.7, 196.50 miles an hour. He was 001 red, so he hit the tree pretty doggone good. And Rick Allen, 441.3, 203.74 miles an hour. Yeah, 2 top alcohol hydros driving to the out ramp. Thank you. So top alcohol hydro qualifying session number 3 is in the books, and Rick Allen still holding the top spot with the 2021 alcohol hydro high points champion in the SDBA, sitting number 2. And now we go into personal watercraft, the final session of qualifying for PWC. Championship in PWC has already been decided. Jody Smith has won the 2021 PWC High Points Championship. But Jake Stevenson and Rathan Broadway will be your first pair of personal watercraft to go down here in Q4, I apologize. Jake Stevenson driving the Little Okie, being the Parker Brothers Roofing left side. Randy Ball Motorsports, he'll be down 1374, and Rathan Broadway driving the Golden Child. He'll be in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane, dialed 1130. So Jake Stevenson breaking it out 13:39 on a 13:74 at 55 miles an hour. That jet ski has been messing with him all weekend, not really wanting to run close to the same thing. Wraith and Broadway 073 on the bulb, goes 11:56.6 on the 11:30. He will be your number one qualifier. Jake Stevenson, number 2. All right, here we go with Jody Smith and Angelique Shaw. Angelique, the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. Dow 13:30. For Mom and Dad, the Bad Company race team, Papa the Sherwoods, Dyna Oats, Luke's Paving, Derek and Melanie Crownover. And Jody Smith driving the Little Maniac out of Wiley, Texas for Randy Ball Motorsports, your 2021 High Points champion. Be over in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand lane. Dow 13:08. Thank you to WCR Construction, Trinity Racing Ministries, RESP, Papa Maniac Mike, Mama Stacy, and the entire SDBA. But most importantly, thanks Randy Ball for letting her use the ski this year. Angelique turned it 039 red. Jody Smith turned it 223 red. Jody goes 1306 on a 1308 at 55 miles an hour. But Angelique Shaw, how about 1330 with a 4 on the 1330 at 56 miles an hour? And my computer's not changing, but I do believe that's going to be your new number one qualifying spot. All right, so here comes Jordan Clover and Lynn Blackburn. Jordan, hold my rocket. Yeah, the dirt tracker. Over here playing in the water, driving for Dan Rogers. Down in 11:63. Parker Brothers Roofing left side. And Lynn Blackburn doing time too for Docks and Rescue and Boats Rescue. Medina Lake, Bandera Family Dentistry, S&E Construction. Dow 1035 on the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. .1051 with a 3 at 69 miles an hour for Lynn Blackburn. Will stay in the number 4 spot. Jordan Clover, 11:73 with a 6. At 64 miles an hour will stay 8th. Henry Rogers and Brody Helm now. This is Brody's first pass of the weekend. He has successfully made Woody's Golden Child, the name of the jet ski for Parker's Brother Roofing. Dan and Robin at Superior Fiberglass, Liberty Home, Performance HVAC, carrying the key team at Providence Realty. He's down 13-10. And Henry Rogers driving for Steve Pruitt and the Hold My Beer and Watch This team. Swan Pipeline Services, Swan Transportation, and Big Dog Consulting Services. He's down 11:05 over in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand lane. $15.74 at 48 miles an hour for Brody Helm. He will go into eliminations in the number 9 spot. Henry Rogers, 11:22 with a 7 on the 11:05 at 66 miles an hour. He will be your number 7 qualifier. Angelique Shaw is your number 1 qualifier in personal watercraft, taking it over from Wraith and Broadway. And here comes Jacob Nodler on a single in the Performance HVAC. Right-hand lane. Mom and Dad, Oma and Opa, Chris Clay, Gary Payne, Mike Sorensen, Carl Nichols. Thanks to Mike Griffith and Trinity Racing Ministries. RESP and Rob Birkeland. He's out 12:93. Currently qualified number 6 right now. That's fine. Currently qualified number 5. I apologize. $12.85 with an 8 at 57 miles an hour on the 12.93. He will go into eliminations in the number 5 spot. He was 0-14 red, which is still pretty doggone close. He's been 0-01 and 0-14 red. I'd say he's pretty set up. What do you think, neighbor John? I think it would be fun to see you and him race against each other. I got $20 on Jacob, I'm just saying. So that is the conclusion of qualifying for personal watercraft, and Angelique Shaw is going to get the green hat from Andy Reynolds, and she will be your number 1 qualifier going into eliminations tomorrow. And stock eliminator coming up now. Patrick Peterson driving El Diablo. He's going to be in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand lane for Cole Insurance Agency, Benning Auto Parts, 9 flat his dial, and Brody Martin driving the Silver Bullet for Phil's Automotive and Towing. In the Performance HVAC right lane, dialed 11-15, number 2 and number 7 qualifier. And Brody Martin, 11-12 with a 5 on the 11-15 at 63 miles an hour. Still pretty close. You have a good setup going into eliminations. Patrick Peterson, 9-11 with an 8 84.68 miles an hour. He will stay number 7. Blackstock and Kevin Hibbton. Kevin driving Trump money over in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand side, down 9-10 for Budlong Motorsports, Albuquerque Plumbing, Nelson Speed Marine. And Ronnie Blackstock driving for Al Kirshner, the boat Plum Crazy in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane, down 9 flat. Number 4 and number 9 qualifier. Ronnie number 4, Kevin number 9. Hibbton, 9:21.7, 86.64 miles an hour. Rodney Blackstock, 9:09.3, 87.99 miles an hour. They will stay 4th. And Kevin will go to 8th. So Grant Snyder still sitting number 1 on the qualifying sheet here in stock eliminator. So the run order has changed just a little bit. Right here we're going into modified eliminator next, and it'll be top, then quick eliminator, pro modified, and pro eliminator. That is how it's going to change up. It'll be quick eliminator after top. That way that we can give you guys plenty of time to cool down and bring you back up for your first round coming up a little bit later. So just so everybody knows, that's what the plan is. Parker Brothers Roofing. Left-hand lane is Grant Snyder driving a Magic Man. Down in 9:42. Over in the left lane is Seth Walls driving Soderly Tober. The Performance HVAC right lane. Wayman Pitchford, Fast Line Fabrications, Walls Tractor Repair, Cookers Christ, Joe Yalborough. William Pascal and Sons Fide Woodworking, down in 9 flat. Grant 976 with a 1 at 84.87 miles an hour on the 942. He will still be your number 1 qualifier. Seth Walls breaks it out, goes 894.3, 89.36 miles an hour. He was 299 red. Grant Snyder only turned it 025 red. So Seth Walls will stay number 12. Grant Snyder will stay number 1 for now. Here comes James Norman. Go Jesse, the name of the boat. Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand side, and Garrick Snyder driving Blankie's Magic. Performance HVAC, right-hand lane. 990 the dial for Garrick Snyder. James Norman dial 902. Current number 10 qualifier for Garrick, number 6 for James Norman. Garrick Snyder breaks out, goes 974.4, 78.68 miles an hour. He will stay number 10. James Norman, 908 with a 4 at 94 miles an hour on his 902. And he will go to number 5. I need top eliminator. Top eliminator to the ramp. Top eliminator, I need you to the ramp, please. Quick eliminator. Be on standby. Pro modified. Get them warmed up. Top eliminator to the ramp. Quick eliminator. Be on standby. Pro modified. Get them warmed up. Zachary Watson and Mike King now. Zachary, chicks dig it. Zachary the Kid Watson. I got to start remembering that. His mom wants me to call him the Kid. Zachary the Kid Watson. He was tackling cornerbacks last night, and now he's trying to go to the number 1 spot in stock eliminator. Dial 1070 over in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand side. And Mike King borrowed Miller time over in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. Out of Coeta, Oklahoma, I think is how you're supposed to say it. Or Coeta. Coach, I'm going to need another English lesson, brother. So Mike King on the 902 goes 899 with a 6 at 88.49 miles an hour. He will stay number 16 on the qualifying sheet. Zachary Watson, 1073 with a 5 on the 1070. He goes to the number 5 spot with a 117 red reaction time. All right, next pair, Cade Janicek and J.D. Henderson. Cade driving all or nothing. Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand side. JP&E, Kirkland Marine, DBR, RFC, David Kirkland Racing. Special thanks to Phil Kirkland. 906, Cade Janisek's dial, and J.D. Henderson driving the boat they call driver number 4. Performance HVAC right-hand lane for Kevin with Performance Heating and Air. Daniel and Robin with Superior Fiberglass. Hunsucker Law Firm. Parker Brothers Roofing, Tequila Porter, Chopper Hopper Saloon, Liberty Homes, and Pirate Mafia. JD dial 1069 over in the right. Kay Janicek was 061. He goes 9:10 with a 1 on a 9:06 for the number 3 qualifying spot. He's going to stay there. He's been knocked down a couple of times by Grant Snyder and Brody Martin. He will stay number 3. J.D. Henderson, 10:79.2, 69.84 miles an hour, and he will be 9th best in qualifying. Here comes Ashley Winslet driving Vanishing Breed out of Dallas, Texas for Fastline Fabrication. Special thanks to Mom, Dad, Brian, and Chantel, RESP, and Trinity Racing Ministries. She's dialed 9 flat in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. And Glenn Cashton's driving Aqua Patina, dialed 15 flat over here in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand side. Ashley Winslet goes 9:19.4, 78.25 miles an hour. 15:41 with a 7 at 44.71 miles an hour for Glenn Cashton's. Glenn stays 12th. Ashley stays 7th with her 9:06 from yesterday. Tyler Bain and Hope Helm coming up now. Tyler driving the Slippery Pickle over the Performance HVAC, right-hand lane. BBC Farm and Ranch, Rio Medina Truck and Auto, Trinity Racing Ministries, Custom Powder Coating. Many thanks to the awesome crew, Mama Kay, Aunt Linnell, Connie, Stephanie, Shane, Bishop Ed, and Debbie, the Dog Trigger, and the Toho Daniel. Special thanks to God for all of the blessings. And Hope Helm driving Liquid Assets over the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand lane out of Moore, Oklahoma. Parker Brothers Racing. Hunsucker Legal Group, Performance HVAC, ID Solutions, Texas Rocks, 360 Angus Ranch, Triple K Cattle Company, Liberty Homes, Carey, and the Key Team at Providence Realty. 8 flat here, modified eliminator. First pair modified. Final session of qualifying. First pair, Hope Helm and Tyler Bain. Hope Helm 9:15 with a 3 at 85.97 miles an hour for Hope. Tyler goes 8:51.8, 95.80 miles an hour, and they are still fighting that Slippery Pickle machine, not being able to speed it up to reach the 8 flat index. Hope Helm 9:15.3, 85 miles an hour. It's her best run of the weekend. She is number 11th. Tyler Bain is 9th. On the qualifying sheet is Melton Whittlesey and Josh Hansen come up now. Melton driving Little Bud for Infamous Brewing. He'll be in the Performance HVAC right lane. Current number 5 qualifier at 8:07.9. Josh Hansen, your number 1 qualifier, as it sits right now with an 8:01.4. He's driving for Huffman Performance, B&D Waterland. Driving Stimulus Check over here in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand lane. Josh Hansen, 8:06 with a 5 at 100.63 miles an hour. Remains the number 1 qualifier. Melton Whittlesey goes 8:12 with a 1, 106.60 miles an hour. He will stay at number 5 in qualifying. Gus Hagler and Greg Conley. Gus driving Amazing Grace, the Senseless Racing Hoss Props machine in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand lane. In the Performance HVAC right-hand lane is Greg Conley driving Happy Hour for Steve Walls. Fast Line Fabrication, FPC Services, Walls Tractor Repair, Buddy E.S. Johnson, Stream Barbecue, Wayman Pitchford Incorporated, Joe Yarborough, and Palmetto Distillery. He's your number 10 qualifier right now at 8:29.6. The outboard in the left, Gus Hagler. And Greg Conley driving Happy Hour on the right. .013 reaction time. Gus Hagler goes 8:14.4, 98 miles an hour. Greg Conley, 8:25, 106. No position changes there. All right, so listen up. We have another schedule change. The decision was made to run Pro Comp flat bottoms first round of eliminations today as well. So here is the new run order. Top eliminator should be at the ramp right now. Quick eliminator on standby. Then it's going to be Pro Modified, then Pro Comp flats, then Pro Eliminator, and then Pro Jet. Pat Hobbs, did you catch that? We are now running Pro Comp flats, after Pro Modified, then Pro Eliminator, and then Pro Jet. So Quick Eliminator, go ahead and be making your way to the end ramp, please. Quick Eliminator, be making your way to the end ramp. Pro Modified, be on standby. Pro Comp flats, get them warmed up. Quick Eliminator, I need you to the end ramp, please. Here comes Andrew Decker driving in too deep out of Buckholz, Texas. And the Parker Brothers Roofing left side. And Jesse James Jr. driving the Outlaw for Dave and Kerry Muller, Lone Star Mill, Big Mike and Ona, Just for Christmas Decor, and Eagle Motorsports. Over in the Performance HVAC team, right lane, I apologize, trying to speed up. Countdown clock's running out. The Outlaw over there on the right side. And Jesse James Jr., how about 013 on the reaction timer? The boat slowed down to 8:27.3, 95.93 miles an hour for Jesse. Andrew Decker was double 05 red, goes 8:06.5, 93.03 miles an hour for him. Jesse James will stay number 2. Andrew will stay number 5. And once again, the schedule has been changed. It'll be Quick Eliminator. Should be making your way to the end ramp. Then it'll be Pro Modified, then Pro Comp Flats, then Pro Eliminator, and then Pro Jet. But here comes Kyle Fox, Gavin Snyder. Kyle driving Booger Red. The Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand side of Caddo Mills, Texas. He is currently number 4 at 8:05. Gavin Snyder driving 6 to midnight in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. Custom Powder Coating, Rio Fab and Welding, Rio Medina Truck and Auto. Aunt Sue and Uncle Jimbo for the motor. Gibson Insurance. Here's your number 3 qualifier at 8:03. Kyle Fox, 8:06.5, 98.43 miles an hour. He will stay number 4. Gavin Snyder will stay number 3. He goes 0-12 on the reaction timer. Goes 8:04.7, 111.76 miles an hour. So awful close to the index and really good on the Christmas tree was Gavin Snyder, and he continues to make great laps, cut great lights, and will continue to go rounds if he keeps that up. Austin Fugate coming up, biggest crush out of Fort Worth, Texas. Tony Hendrick Racing Engines, Electro Freeze of Texas, Two Guys Marine, Fugate Construction, and Epic Boats. Sitting number 7 right now at 8:09. He'll be over in the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand lane. Austin Fugate goes 8:04.4, 104.87. The 080 reaction time for Austin. And he will be your number 4 qualifier. I need quick eliminator, QE, I need you to the in-ramp, please. Quick eliminator to the in-ramp. Pro Modified, be on standby. Pro Comp Flats, be getting them warmed up. Here comes Ron McCullough and Bill McGuinn. McGuinn driving no clue. This is the first parent top eliminator in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. Special thanks to Larry Flores, Kevin Foote, Dave Lipinski, and the crew chief Peggy Owens. And Ron driving flat rat out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. In the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand lane. 7 flat, the index here. Top eliminator. Ron sitting number 6 at 7:33, 7:06 for Bill. Ron McCullough goes 7:27.7, 114.85 miles an hour. Bill McGuinn breaks it out, goes 6:95.6, 114.43. He will stay number 2. Ron will stay number 6. Justin Stewart driving the wingman. Coming up in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand lane. For wife Ashley, the twins, Jackson and Stella. Beautiful daughters, Tori and Sydney. Special thanks to Steve with Renee. And Renee with Brady Truck Service. Bob York, Bill Diaz, Daniel, and Candace. He ran 7:10 with an 8 earlier for the number 3 qualifying spot. Wade Kokendorfer coming up. Classified information. Performance HVAC. Right-hand lane. Smoke on the Water Drag Boat Races. Farmers Insurance. Jetpack. Ben Agnes Realty. Number 8 qualifier at 7:41. Well, Stewie is still having issues getting that boat to stay lit on the starting line. For whatever reason, it just doesn't want to cooperate. Wade Kokendorfer goes 7:39.3, 107.79 miles an hour. He will stay, number 8. We're going to try to give Justin Stewart another chance to fire up, take the tree again, but still fighting that boat, wanting to die on the hold rope. That was nice. 696.6, 107 miles an hour on the nose. That was awesome. Justin Stewart broke it out by about 34 thousandths of a second, but it runs, and it runs good. And he is still your number 3 qualifier in top eliminator. All right, I need Pro Modified. Pro Modified, need you at the in-ramp, please. Pro Modified, need you at the in-ramp. Pro Con Flats, be on standby. Pro Eliminator, get them warmed up. Pro Modified to the ramp. Pro Con Flats, be on standby. Pro Eliminator, warm them up. Next pair of top eliminator being pulled into positions, Bobby Thurman and George Goff. Bobby Thurman, Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand lane, driving the crapshooter for Sambo's Logan and Thurman's Heating and Air. Your number 4 qualifier at 7:21. And George Goff driving Bad Magic out of Choteau, Oklahoma, the Performance HVAC. Right-hand lane for Electro Freezer, Texas, Tulsa Sheet Metal. The crew, Marsha Todd, Traven and Relly. Special thanks to the Electro Freeze Express crew, Bruce and Bobby Wicker, Broken Arrow Powder Coating. Still trying to get that boat to slow down. 697 with an 8 at 109.57 miles an hour, and it is official. Every pass that George Goff has made this weekend so far has been a breakout on the index, has been in the 6-second zone. That thing is just flat fast, and George Goff's having a hard time getting the thing to calm down a little bit. It was 060 on the tree. How about Bobby Thurman? 005 in the crapshooter. Goes 706 with a 9 at 117 miles an hour. He will stay number 3, and George Goff will stay number 9. And that is definitely the lowest that George Goff has qualified all season. Here comes Jerry Branham and Matt Miller. Jerry driving back in black out of Tyler, Texas. Number 1 qualifier as it sits currently. And Matt Miller driving Miller time right here in El Reno, Oklahoma. In the Performance HVAC right-hand side, your number 7 qualifier at 7:33. And Matt Miller, 7:27 with a 6 at 105.25. Sped it up just a little bit. That's the best run of the weekend. He'll go to the number 6 spot. Jerry Branham, 051 on the tree. Goes 7:02 with a 5, 113.35 miles an hour. And he lowers the number 1 qualifying spot by a little bit. And Jerry will stay there at the top of Top Eliminator. Glad to know that my partner in crime is watching along on Racer H2O. Mike Starr, we miss you, brother. Everybody does, because I can promise you they're about tired of listening to me. Oh, wish you were here, man. Glad you're watching along. So as we get more hot rods pulled to the hold rope. I believe that's going to bring us into quick eliminator. Final qualifying session for them. We're running them a little bit earlier in the running order because we're going to run their first round of eliminations in just a little while. You got to give them plenty of time to turn back around and get back up here. One more top eliminator, and I believe we'll be good to go with quick. Kevin Conklin driving Texas High Risk for Jim Burns. We're going to be over in the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand side out of Midland, Texas. Wayman Pitchford Incorporated, Tap Magic, KC Specialties, Diamond Jim, Hendrick Motors, and Albert Fox. Current number 10 qualifier. He's been too quick every time he's went down the lake as well. 7.00 the index here in Top Eliminator. And his slowest run of the weekend's been 685. Yeah. Kevin Conklin on a single in the near lane. So Kevin goes 699 with a 5. Missed it by 5 thou. He's going to move up one position to the number 9 spot. 699.5 at 110.11 miles an hour. And how about this? He was 0001 red. Wow. That's 1/10,000th red. And our first pair of quick eliminator, when we get them situated, is going to be Bill Miller and Robert Anderson. Bill driving the Rebellious Winch for Philip Kirkland, Taylor, Texas. He's been 644 in qualifying so far for the number 8 qualifying spot. And Robert Anderson, that nitrous boat over in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. Call it Mutual Funds out of Huffman, Texas for Coyote Ready Mix. Huffman Performance, Jeff Gibson Insurance, Taz Construction, Miller Excavation, B&D Waterland, Nitrous Outlet, Go Lithium Batteries, Pat Hobbs Manufactured Homes. Shout out to the Toho Sid Anderson and his birthday today. Happy birthday, Sid Anderson. Robert's dad. Robert has been 602.5 for the number 2 spot right now. Jerry Branham. No, I'm sorry. I believe Ken Jenkins is still sitting on top. Bill Miller, how about 601 with a 6 at 143 miles an hour? And Bill Miller goes to the top. Robert Anderson, 605 with a 5, 127 miles an hour. And he will get pushed down to third because Ken Jenkins goes to second. Bill Miller hops to the top. 6016, 143.61. And that hopping around down there toward the top end works for Bill Miller and that Philip Kirkland racing team.
About right there, and I'm like, I almost got it.
So y'all are going after Pro-Jet. We're calling quick eliminator. So it's still got Pro-Mod, Pro-Pound Flat, and then Pro-Jet. Here comes Smokey Freeman and Robert Ledbetter. Smokey driving Smoke on the Water out of Henrietta, Oklahoma. He'll be on the right side of the racetrack, driving for Gaines Racing, Henrik Excavation, Lennox Brothers Harvesting, the OHBA, Sarah James, Gary and the gang, and Robert Ledbetter driving Blue Thunder for Ray Mills out of Owasso, Oklahoma. For Landing Zone, Booger Reds, Ghost Rider Saloon. Oh, no. The Smokey makes it down the racetrack, 612 with a 9 at 140.73. But Robert Ledbetter, he hit the gas, and I don't know if it threw the blower belt off, but it was done. We need Robert Ledbetter's trailer back to the end ramp, please. The Ray Mills team, Robert Ledbetter's trailer back to the end ramp, please. So we're going to try it again for Robert Ledbetter, actually. Robert's going to be over on the left side. And Sam Naces. I hope I said that right. Driving critical mass over here in the Performance HVAC right-hand side. 6:22 with a 5. He's number 8 qualifier. Robert Ledbetter, your number 9 qualifier. Let's try it again. And Robert Ledbetter, how about 6:030, 136.08 miles an hour. He moves all the way up to the 4th spot. Sam goes 6:13.9, 131, and stays number 8. But nice run for Robert Ledbetter and the Ray Mills Blue Thunder team. Go up to the 4th spot. Here comes Sambo Smith and Ken Jenkins. Sambo driving a sucker punch. Ken Jenkins driving through the fire. Sambo, Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand side for Brands' Feed and Supply. Thank you to Gary Payne. I hope you're watching along Racer H2O. Special thanks to Tony Scarlotta, GNC Machine, Russell's Body Shop, Thurman Heating and Air, and Ken Jenkins, current number 2 qualifier, driving for Causeway Marina in the Performance HVAC right-hand side. All right, so Sambo's sitting number 6 right now at 6:11. Ken Jenkins sitting number 2 at 6:02. Number 1 qualifier, Bill Miller, 6:016. Ken Jenkins, 606 with a 0 at 145.96 miles an hour with an 021 reaction time. Sambo breaks it out, goes 588.7, 145.67. It was 169 red, so Ken Jenkins will stay number 2. Sambo will stay number 6. And Bill Miller stays at the top with just a couple more quick eliminator boats to go. Procon flat bottoms, Procon flats, and each to the end ramp, please. Procon flats, and each to the end ramp, please. Here comes Tommy the Lunchbox Rice and Larry Flores. Larry out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. Driving for Dynamic Racing Engines and Pine Top Construction, thanks to Tom, Kim, and Thor. Your number 9 qualifier right now at 619. Driving a Hydro Climatic. The Performance HVAC, right-hand side. And Tommy the Lunchbox Rice driving the Electro Freeze Special for David Carroll, Electro Freeze of Texas, WCR Construction, David and Deb Carroll, Bruce and Bobby Wicker, Gary Watson, Chris and Leanne Allen. Tommy, number 5 at 6034 as it sits right now. And the Lunchbox goes 6:15.8, 150.97 miles an hour. He will stay number 6. Larry Flores, how about 6:01 with a 7, 139.76 miles an hour. Larry goes all the way up to number 2. And Mike Starr, you were right. You better watch out for Larry Flores. That Las Cruces, New Mexico team are here to play with these SDBA guys. Larry Flores all the way up to number 2. As we get Pro Modified pulled to the hold rope. I got a few minutes. I'm going to try to eat as much of these fajitas as I can. First pair of Pro Modified, final session of qualifying. Henry Baney driving Don't Blink over here on the left side out of Burton, Texas. And Daryl Mad Max Ehrlich driving out of reach over there in the right lane out of Round Rock, Texas. Driving for Papa Doug Mater, Henry Baney, qualifying number 10, 577. Daryl Mad Max Ehrlich, number 4, at 562. And Mad Max goes 557.0, 164 miles an hour. How about Henry Baney, 563.3, 158 miles an hour. And Henry goes all the way up to number 5. Mad Max was 040 on the tree and 557 at 164. Henry Baney, 563.3, 158.11 miles an hour. And he's ready for eliminations a little bit later. Trailer 255, we need you back to the out ramp, please. Trailer 255, we need you back to the out ramp. I need Procon flats, Procon flat bottoms. I need you to the in-ramp, please. Procon flat bottoms, qualifying round number 4. I need you to the in-ramp, please. Next pair of Pro Modified is going to be Sean Reed and Brian Miller. Sean will be over here in the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand side, driving Top Secret out of Puyallup, Washington. He is indexed at a 560. He went 567.4 in the last round of qualifying. And Brian Miller over in the Performance HVAC, right-hand side, driving Joker's Wild out of Bluffdale, Texas. For Excess Speed and Marine, AP Manufacturing, Mixer Centers, Pack Rat, BDR Extreme. He's been 571 with a 9 with that LS small block, twin turbocharged, amazing Pro Modified machine. Final call, Procon Flats. Final call, Procon Flats to the in-ramp. Final call, Procon Flats to the in-ramp. Pro Eliminator. Pro Eliminator needs to the in-ramp, please. Pro Eliminator to the in-ramp. Pro Jet. Be warming up, be on standby. Pro Outlaw, be warming yours up as well. Pro Eliminator to the ramp. All right, so final session of qualifying for Pro Mod. Sean Reed, 5.63 with a 6, 163.13 miles an hour. For the number 6 qualifying spot, Brian Miller goes 8.55, only 51 miles an hour. He will stay 8th. Sean Reed moves up 1 position to number 6. Tim Ortiz and Robin Reed. Next 2 pro modifieds at the hold rope. Tim Ortiz driving empty pockets for Pat Kinsey. It's going to be over in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand side of Conroe, Texas for Pat Kinsey Drywall Race Engine Development. Thanks to Rhonda for allowing him to continue to race. Special thanks to Doug Ivey, Archie Nelson, Kevin Cook. And Robin Reed over here in the Performance HVAC right-hand side. Wound Too Tight, the name of the hot rod out of Arlington, Texas. 2 Guys Marina, Del Rio, Texas Outrigger Boats, CCR, Fiberglass and Marine, NGK Spark Plugs, Fun and Sun Boats and Tackle, and Trinity Racing Ministries. Robin Reed, your number 3 qualifier, 5.62.1. Tim Ortiz, your number 2 qualifier, 5.62.0. All right, 5 seconds left. I'll close the capsules. Let's go. Well, blower belt stayed on this time for Tim Ortiz. He goes 5.57.2, 163.50 miles an hour. How about Robin Reed? 5.60 with a 3 at 160.38 miles an hour. And he Hops over Tim Ortiz into the number 2 spot, right behind Mallory Carroll. And guess what? Mallory got the number 1 qualifying spot still by speed alone. And that's it. They tied each other down to the thou, and she got it by speed. That's amazing. Robin Reed, number 2. Mallory Carroll, numero uno still. All right, Pro Eliminator. Needs to the end ramp, please. Pro Eliminator, needs to the end ramp. Steve Walls, Mallory Carroll coming up. Steve driving Hydro Commando over in the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand side of San Angelo, Texas. For Fast Line Fabrications, FPC Services, Walls Tractor Repair, Buddy E.S. Johnson, Extreme Barbecue, Wayman Pitchford Incorporated, Joe Yarborough, and Palmetto Distillery. Thanks to Michelle, Bruce, Stella, Jason, Shanna, Tag, Shane, Seth, and Paul. And Mallory Carroll, your current number 1 qualifier, driving a little more therapy in the Performance HVAC right-hand side out of Burnett, Texas. For WCR Construction, Electro Freeze of Texas, RFC, RESP, special thanks to Gary Watson, Mom and Dad, and Todd and Ella Haas. Steve, your number 12 qualifier at 590. And Mallory Carroll, your number 1 qualifier at 560. All right, so here we go with Steve Walls, Mallory Carroll. Pro Outlaw. Need you guys to the end ramp, please. Pro Outlaw to the end ramp. Pro Outlaw to the end ramp, please. All right, Mallory Carroll and Steve Walls. Here we go. Steve Walls, 592.8, 148 miles an hour. Mallory Carroll, 563.2, 164.18. She'll stay in the number 1 spot. Steve Walls is going to stay in the number 12 spot with his 592.8, 148.03. Hey, WestCon, I'm just saying, it's not that far from Phoenix, Arizona to El Reno, Oklahoma. So you guys just sit in your little air-conditioned shop, enjoy yourselves. I'm kidding. We do miss you guys, WestCon and all you guys. We'll see y'all in Phoenix here coming up in November. But Stewie was just over here talking about you, so I figured I might as well mess with you a little bit. Next pair, Greg Lampar and Kevin Helm. Greg driving Anger Management over here in the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand side of the Comfort, Texas. Driving for Ford of Bernie, Cocky Rooster Bar, Jeffro Custom Silk Screening, Ted Basil at Mac Tools, Bernie Web Design. Special thanks to Randy Benson for the help to get here. Thanks to Rodney and Pamela Piper for the support. And Kevin Helm, for the first time in 6 years, going to put this boat into competition later on today. Kevin Helm driving the Woody over in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. Out of Moore, Oklahoma for Parker Brothers Roofing. Hunsucker Legal Group. Performance HVAC, RB Props, ID Solutions, Mr. Paint, Liberty Homes, Dan and Robin at Superior Fiberglass, Kerry and the Key Team at Providence Realty. He's been 586 with a 1 for the number 11 spot. Now remember, this boat sat in his shop for a long, long time, for the last 6 years, and collected dust. He decided to dust it off, fire it up, bring it out here to El Reno to his home race, try to see what he can do. He's been 616, 675, 586. So he's getting better and getting better. Kevin Helm, been doing it for a few years now. I'm not going to call him old or anything because he can beat me up. But Greg Lampar right in the thick of things in this Pro Mod points battle. He's currently sitting number 2 in the points, right behind Daryl Mad Max Ehrlich. Qualifying has a lot to do with that, too. It's Daryl Ehrlich, Greg Lampar, and then Mallory Carroll sitting in the number 3 spot. Tim Ortiz also with a shot to win the thing in the number 4 spot in points. It's going to be an absolute dogfight down to the final round, I have a feeling, when it comes to the Pro Mod 2021 SDBA High Points Championship. All right, so here we go. Countdown clock has started at 15 seconds for Kevin Helm and Greg Lampar. How about that for driving into the parachutes at the top end? Greg Lampar, 019, 567.4, 163 miles an hour. That's pretty amazing. You can tell he wants that championship bad. And Kevin Helm having trouble on the starting line. Boat not fired and not moving. Don't know if we're going to try to get him to refire. All right, so Kevin Helm says, let me try it one more time. So Kevin still over there in the Performance HVAC right-hand side. Performance HVAC, his company. So not only is he out here racing with us, he's also helping us keep going by sponsoring one of our lanes here at his home race. All right, so Kevin Helm fired up, ready to go again. About 570 with a 160 miles an hour for Kevin Helm. Best run of the weekend for him. He'll be in the number 9 qualifying spot when it comes to eliminations a little bit later today. All right, so Pro Comp Flat, this is our final round of qualifying. GW Goff and Andy Comstock coming up. GW, Electro Freeze Express, going to be in the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand side, out of Catoosa, Oklahoma. Driving for Bruce and Bobby Wicker of Electro Freeze of Texas, down in 676. And Andy Comstock driving Whiskey Tango. And the Performance HVAC, right-hand side for ACDC Electric, Salon Elements. Pit crew of Chase, Tony, and Dan. He'll be down 651. Man, GW is an absolute master with that fly pedal. 678.6 on a 676 dial at 119.26 miles an hour. GW Golf, that'll be the number 3 qualifying spot for him. Andy Comstock, 664.7 on the 651 at 120.74 miles an hour. Not going to improve. He will stay number 4. We're going to run them first round of eliminations coming up a little bit later on as well. It'll be Quick Eliminator, Pro Modified, and Pro Comp Flats to end the second day of the Hunter Showdown here in El Reno, Oklahoma. Now it's Larry Skiro and David Merchant, I do believe. Larry Skiro and David Merchant. Larry driving flat nasty out of Highland Haven, Texas, dialed 682 over here on the left side. And David Merchant driving flat wicked over here on the right side, dialed 7 flat. This is our final session of qualifying for Pro Comp Flats. Julie, if you're watching along, we miss you. Oh. How about Larry Skiro, 036 on the tree and goes 691 with an 8, 114.10. His best run of the weekend. He'll be in the number 8 qualifying spot. David Merchant, 706 with a 0, 110.74 miles an hour with an 026 reaction time for him. He will go to the number 1 qualifier, or will stay in the number 1 qualifying spot. Knock Randy Reynolds off of it in the 3rd session. And he will stay there, 706.0 on the 7 flat. And David Merchant remains in the top spot for now. Randy Reynolds, Tony Scarlotta coming up now. Randy, it's Only Money, the name of the machine over here in the Parker Brother Roofing, left-hand lane. 640 is his dial. And Tony Scarlotta driving Fool's Paradise out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma, will be in the Performance HVAC. Right-hand side, dial 6 flat. Driving for Electro Freeze, Bruce and Bobby Wicker. Malone Diesel, Steve Kathy and Sam Malone. Special thanks to the sponsors and George and GW Golf and David Merchant for all of their help with Tony Scarlotta and this Pro Comp flat bottom. Tony sitting number 6 right now with his 607 from yesterday, I believe. And Randy Reynolds sitting number 2 with his 639. All right, and I do apologize for this. When we changed up the schedule, things got a little flip-flopped, and on behalf of Rich and myself, we apologize. Projet, we need you to the end ramp, please. Projet, we need you to the end ramp. Top alcohol flats, be warming them up. Alcohol hydro, be warming yours up as well. Top alcohol flat bottoms, warm them up. Projet, bring them to the ramp, please. All right, so Randy Reynolds and Tony Scarlotta. Tony on the right, Randy Reynolds on the left. .614.6, 128 miles an hour for Scarlotta. Randy Reynolds goes 6:49 with a 0 at 127.49 on that 6:40. He will stay your number 2 qualifier. Tony Scarlotta will stay 6th on the qualifying sheet here in Pro Comp flat bottoms. Here comes Dylan Crownover and Milton Tollen. Dylan driving Bad Company 2 out of Granite Shoals, Texas for Grandma and Grandpa. J&M Kinsey Plumbing. Crownover Fence and Welding. The newly engaged Dylan Crownover down in 643. Milton Tollen out of Jacksonville, Florida, driving Flat Magic in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. And he'll be dialed in 663. Once again, Projet, when he's to the end ramp. Projet to the end ramp. All right, countdown clock starts for Dylan Crownover and Milton Tollen. Florida versus Texas. 663 the dial for Milton Tollen. Dylan Crownover down 643. Current number 5 and number 7 qualifier on the sheet right now. How about 649 or 641? I apologize for Dylan Crownover. 123.28 miles an hour with an 010 red reaction time. Milton Tollen 192 on the tree. Goes 664 with a 6 on the 663. And Milton Tollen will take over the number 1 qualifying spot from David Merchant at 124.84 miles an hour. Milton Tollen just a hundredth of a second off the dial. Goes to the top. Here comes Nate Stevenson on the Dominator, running his half-track license pass here in Pro Comp Flat. All right, final call, Pro Jet. Final call, Pro Jet. I need alcohol flat bottoms. Top alcohol flat bottoms. I need you to the end ramp, please. Top alcohol flats to the end ramp. Now we're going into Pro Eliminator. Final session of qualifying. This is our 650 index category. I believe we have 4 boats, maybe 5. Here comes Mike Ledford Jr. and Kevin Foote. Ledford driving Dynamite from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma for Keith Scrocken Racing Engines, Max Machine, ML Vending Company, in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand side, and Kevin Foote driving Distraction, the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. For Parker Auto, Pirates Den, Sundance Resort, Fox's Floating Bar. 650, the index. Mike Ledford Jr.'s best run of 775 has him in the number 5 qualifying spot. Kevin Foote, it's been 657.9. That has him second on the sheet right now. Yeah, Kevin Foote, 654 with a 1 at 132 miles an hour, and he goes to the number 1 qualifying spot with an 031 reaction time. Mike Ledford Jr., 745 with an 8 at 108.18 miles an hour, and that will still have him in the number 5 spot. Kevin Foote jumps over the birthday boy, Dave Lipinski, and goes to the top. Don't forget chapel service, Trinity Racing Ministries chapel service tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock at the pavilion across from registration. Everybody is welcome. It's a non-denominational chapel service. Brother Mike Griffith going to bring us a word from God before we kick off our final race of 2021. So don't forget Trinity Racing Ministries chapel service tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock at the pavilion across from registration. Ty Bulwang, Jeff Bailey now. Ty driving a High Plains Drifter for Wicks Truck and Trailers of Kansas City, Bulwang Electric and Refrigeration. He'll be over in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand side. Jeff Bailey driving Beer Budget out of Okmulgee, Oklahoma. He'll be in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. Don't forget, speaking of Jeff Bailey, the Oklahoma Hot Boat Association Route 66 Shootout will be in Stroud, Oklahoma on September the 11th and the 12th. Go out and enjoy some fantastic outlaw drag boat racing with Jeff Bailey, his beautiful wife Jennifer, and that entire OHBA team. So Jeff Bailey, your number 3 qualifier right now at 776. 676, I apologize. There's so many numbers all day long. All those numbers didn't help. I went to Louisiana Public School. Anyway, 669.7, 115 miles an hour for Jeff Bailey. Ty Bulwang, 683 at 129.89 miles an hour. No position change there for either one of those hot rods. As Jeff will stay number 3, Ty Bulwang will stay at number 4. And I believe there's one more pro eliminator boat, and that's going to be the birthday boy himself, Mr. Dave Lipinski, driving hot shot out of Madera, California, over in the Performance HVAC right-hand side. Special thanks to Jerry Pfizer for everything he does. Auto Machine Specialties of Fresno, Hands-On Hydroponics, Hot Shot Racing. We'd like to thank Jerry, Scooby, Ronald, and Mike for their help in the 2021 SDBA season. Also, David Carroll for making these races happen with all of his associates. Also, what better way to spend your 72nd birthday than the SDBA races? Look, David, I gave you the benefit of the doubt earlier. I was very, very nice. I said you were celebrating your 55th birthday. Then you had to write on your announcer card that you were 72 today. So, happy birthday, Dave Lipinski. He has been absolutely kicking butt in this pro eliminator class here in the SDBA this year. He is currently sitting number 2 at 654.6, right behind Kevin Foote, who just took it away from him. Hey, Bill Diaz, Bill Diaz, you are needed at your pit, brother. Bill Diaz, you're needed at your pit. All right, so we'll get Dave Lipinski sitting down on the racetrack, and then we'll start out with Pro Outlaw. It's fired up. Countdown clock started. He's ready to go. Ooh. Dave Lipinski shuts it down at the green buoys. So Dave will start eliminations tomorrow from the number 2 qualifying spot. 011 red line only goes 9:32.9, 53 miles an hour. So Kevin Foote will be your pro eliminator number 1 qualifier here in El Reno. As we get our first pair of pro outlaws pulled to their places on the hold rope. It's going to be Cody Childress and Bill Wire. First pair out. Bill Wire driving alcoholic behavior. Going to be coming up in the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand side for Clinton's Concrete Works, Lone Star Induction, RH Marine, Security State Bank and Trust, Hill Insurance, Jackson Electric, Texcon Fuel, Black Wolf Landscape, Bayside Buggies, BCMT Trucking, BW Construction, Truck Country Outfitters, and Collision Express. Your number 4 qualifier with a 5:27.7 on the board already. And Cody Childress driving Bad Influence. Your current number 1 qualifier went 5:22.5 after going 4:79 and 4:93 the first 2 sessions of qualifying. Cody coming to us out of Nemo, Texas for Nestle Racing, Travis Tuttle, Brad Anderson Enterprises, Linco Transmission, RBS Superchargers. Special thanks to Travis Tuttle, Mama Judy, Robin Reed, Dustin Nesloni, his beautiful wife Kendra, and the boys, Bentley, Braxton, and Brady. He'll be over in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. So he's been driving the boat that Dustin Nesloni owned. But Dustin decided that he wanted to sell the hot rod. So they decided to take Travis Tuttle's boat from atop of the shop, throw a motor back in it, put a brand new wrap on it. Same design as the last one, but put a brand new wrap on it. And Cody come racing out here in Pro Outlaw. That's why the first pass it only went 479, 188 miles an hour. Didn't take them but 2 runs to get it figured out and go 5:22.5 at 171. All right, final call, top alcohol flats. Final call, top alcohol flats. I need top alcohol hydro. Top alcohol hydro to the end ramp, please. Top alcohol hydro to the end ramp. Quick eliminator. Quick eliminator. Be warming them up. Be ready to go. Quick eliminator. We're going to run you first round of eliminations. Quick eliminator. Be warming them up. Be ready to go. But I need top alcohol hydro to the end ramp, please. There's somebody that I have forgotten so far this weekend, and I do apologize. And Henry Baney just reminded me about it. Thank you, Henry. Warren Wright with Sunoco Race Fuel is down right down here at the left side of the timing tower. Warren Wright does a tremendous job. He not only supplies drag boat racers with fuel, he supplies drag racers, circle track racers, dirt track racers, and everybody around the North Texas, North Central Texas, and Southern Oklahoma parts. So thank you, Warren Wright, for being here and being so loyal to the SDBA and being here every race this season. Thank you so much. You and your beautiful wife are absolutely amazing, and we very, very much appreciate you. So thank you, sir. All right, so Bill Wire and Cody Childress fired up and ready. And Cody Childress, how about 5:21.0, 175.54 miles an hour for Cody Childress. He was already number 1 qualifier, just lows it a little bit more. 5:88.7, 153.09 for Bill Wire. He will stay number 4. Bill and that entire team not having the weekend that they hope to have here at the final race of the season. Bill Wire 109 on the Christmas tree, goes 5:88 at 153. Cody Childress, how about a 5:21? 175.54 miles an hour. That Texas outrigger is flying. this weekend. Had to bring up Eric Demint and Rick Blethrow. Eric Demint driving a real bad boy. He'll be over here in the Parker Brothers Roofing left-hand lane out of Luling, Texas. For Liz and United Rental, J.L. Gray Construction, Lilly Construction, Great Western Corp, Parker Brothers Roofing, Performance HVAC, and the crew, Perch, Victor, Gary Gray, Anita, Brandon, Kaysen, Logan, and Bass. And their special guest this weekend, Steve Miller, man who's taken 2 trips to the Middle East, to Afghanistan to fight for our country. He's on property here this weekend. Him and his entire family are out here enjoying the drag boat races. He is local to the El Reno area. Came over and talked to Eric last night, and they became really good buddies just instantly, just like everybody does with Eric Demint. Because, you know, Eric never meets a stranger. Thank you, Steve Miller, for what you did. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for bringing your family. We hope you guys are having a fantastic time here at the Southern Drag Boat Association. And Rick Blethrow going to be on the right-hand side, the Performance HVAC. Right side of the track, driving the Wild Thing out of Odessa, Texas. For Alliance Machine, AAA RV, Lone Star Gasket, Full Throttle Racing Collectibles. Current number 5 qualifier, 531 with a 4. With that booming speed of 179 miles an hour from those turbos. And that Rick Blethrow machine is an absolute work of art. If you were into fabrication and just building stuff with your hands, go see Rick Blethrow's Hot Rod. Everything about that boat is unique, and Rick Blethrow does all of his own stuff on that amazing, amazing piece of work. Eric Demint, your number 2 qualifier, sitting right behind Cody Childress at 523. Rick's got to figure out how to translate that big mile per hour that he gets from those turbos into a lap's time. He's really got to get that thing moving earlier down the racetrack. It moves at the top end, but if you give up too much at the front half of the racetrack, you're not going to be able to make it up at the back half. And Rick Blethrow knows this. That's why they call it the Wild Thing, because it's unconventional and it's bad to the bone. So as soon as we get the clear to go from rescue, we'll send them down the racetrack. All right, so it took us a second to get Cody Childress pulled close enough to the out ramp where we can send Rick Blethrow and Eric Demint. But it looks like we are almost in the clear. They're ready to go. Eric Demint, the real bad boy, and Rick Blethrow driving the Wild Thing. As once again, Top Alcohol Hydro, you should be headed to the in-ramp. Top Alcohol Hydro to the in-ramp. Quick eliminator, be warming them up, and be on standby. All right, so both of them fired up, ready to go. Oh, Eric Demint skipping around just a little bit. I do believe he got off the throttle early. He goes 5:27 to 160.76 miles an hour. Rick Blethrow had trouble as soon as he let go of the button. He was out of it. So we're going to need Rick Blethrow's trailer back to the in-ramp, please. Rick Blethrow's trailer back to the in-ramp. Eric Demint 5:27 to 160.76 miles an hour. He will remain your number 2 qualifier. And Rick Blethrow will remain at number 5. All right, so we'll have to get Eric Demint off the top end of the track. Have to get Rick Blethrow pulled back to the in ramp. And I believe we have Teresa Ward. And Steve Carter coming up. All right, so Teresa Ward going to be driving Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. The Performance HVAC, right-hand side of the racetrack. She went 5:26 with a 2 in the third session of qualifying. Put her in the number 3 spot. It's really hot. It's getting to be the hottest part of the day. It's getting to be the worst air of the day. We're going to see what kind of tune-up Teresa Ward has for the hot and muggy conditions here in El Reno. And Teresa Ward goes 5:25 with a 1. 173.08 miles an hour. How about a James Bond 007 reaction time as well? 5:25, 173.08. And she will remain the number 3 qualifier. Cody Childress will stay in number 1. Eric Demint will stay number 2. Teresa Ward will stay 3rd. Bill Wire 4th. Rick Blethrow 5th. And Steve Carter 6th for now. So we're going to go into Pro Jet. It's going to be Pat Hobbs and Leo Rinke. Rinke driving a fast one for Pattern Engineering. Many thanks to Kevin Hanlon and Henry Morris for their help. He'll be in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. Currently qualified third at 419. Pat Hobbs driving Manufactured Money. Driving for Hobbs Motorsports, Hobbs Manufactured Homes, C&D Mechanical, Huffman Performance, and Morgan & Son Racing Engines. It's cool to see Morgan & Son Racing Engines pop up on a drag boat racing screen. Morgan & Son, I've been knowing Shannon Morgan and Bud for a while now. Announced some of Shannon Morgan's Redemption Rogue races at the Texas Motorplex, so it's good to see their equipment being utilized and being utilized so well by Pat Hobbs. 4:02, his best run of the weekend so far. Of course, Tim Ortiz sitting number one right now. His top alcohol flats are on the hold rope. Alcohol hydro, you should already be there. Alcohol hydro, you should be at the end ramp. Quick eliminator, you should be getting warmed up and getting ready. Pat Hobbs spraying a little bit of that nitrous. Seems to be the power adder of choice here in Pro Jet. Leo Rinke. 632 cubic inches of nitrous power on both sides of the racetrack. Here we go. Oh, Leo all over the racetrack. But he goes 425.5, 116.40 miles an hour. But I'm telling you, he was all over the place. Pat Hobbs never left the starting line. I can see him over there still purging the nitrous. And I was thinking, well, maybe the bottle pressure isn't exactly where he wants it. But he never left. Don't know if he's going to take another shot at it or if we're going to get him towed out of there. All right, so it looks like we are going to run Pat Hobbs as a single by himself. Try it again. Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand side. All right, countdown starter for Pat Hobbs. Well, we started it. Yeah, boat looks like it's kind of drifted. All right, well, it looks like we're going to need Pat Hobbs' trailer back to the end ramp. Pat Hobbs' trailer back to the end ramp, please. Tough break. I figured he was going to go in the threes right there. Tim Ortiz qualified number one at 385 in Pro Jet. So that'll bring us into top alcohol flats. Marcus Kinsey driving Bad Company out of Marble Falls, Texas, will be coming up. And the Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand lane for J&M Kinsey Plumbing. Special thanks to Tony Scarlotta for all the help. And Bill Miller, party to the max. driving for Max Davis. He's going to be in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. For Max Heavy Haul, More Trucking, Elite Products, Rapid Photos, Texas Automotive Equipment, Robin Banks, CP Carrillo, The Blower Shop, Monty's Compressors, and the crew chief, Terry Moore. Crew members Joe Davis, Dwayne Gilbert, and Mark the Wire God. Of course, all prayers going out to Mark as he fights COVID-19 and pneumonia. Marcus Kinsey qualified 4th right now at 6:14. Bill Miller still fighting the bugs in that thing. He's only mustered a 6:34 for the number 6 spot. All right, so Rescue doing their final check before we send Top Alcohol Flats. As soon as they give us a green light, we'll send Bill Miller and Marcus Kinsey. All right, listen up, Pro Mod drivers. Your new pairing sheets, your new ladder is on the side of the SDBA trailer and on the app. So be sure you look it over. Make sure you know who you have in the first round of competition coming up a little bit later. New ladders for first round of Pro Modified. The ladder is posted on the back of the SDBA trailer and on the app. All right, so here we go. Top Alcohol Flats, Marcus Kinsey and Bill Miller. Got to Well, Marcus Kinsey, how about 5:89.4, 1:35.12 for Marcus Kinsey. Bill Miller, 6:15.3, 1:39.15 for Bill Miller. Best run of the weekend for Bill, staying the number 5 spot. Marcus Kinsey will stay 4th with his 5:89.4 at 1:35.12. So the next pair, the top alcohol flats, is going to be Bill Diaz and Tony Scarlotta. Diaz, driving the War Party, rides on in memory of Mr. Jerry and Miss Nancy Davis in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. For Aquatic Balance Pool Services, Industry Tire, Maniac Racing, Infamous Brewing, Campbell Family, Brady Truck Service, DSM Racing, RB Props, Robin Banks, Stacy Smith, Drag Boat Review, and JJ Marley Ranch. And special thanks to Steve Brady with Brady Truck Service and the entire crew. Bill Diaz coming to us out of Bullhead City, Arizona. And Tony Scarlotta out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma, driving Shazam for Matt Brown. And Matt Brown Trucking, Jet Performance Marine, Electro Freeze, and special thanks to the entire crew. As Matt Brown looks on, I believe Matt is still in California, did not make the trek out here to El Reno, Oklahoma. And I can promise you he is watching along on Racer H2O, watching intently, as Tony Scarlotta has put up some pretty good numbers this weekend. Dan Kirkman still sitting in the number 1 spot here in Top Alcohol Flat with his 529 from yesterday in that amazing Top Fuel jet boat. This boat that Tony Scarlotta is driving is the owner of both ends of the Top Alcohol Flat record. It went 5 flat and 173 miles an hour. It's been running consistent 160 mile an hour passes. Went 165, 169, and 162 in qualifying. Well, the boat makes great speed at the top end of the track. All right, so Bill Diaz and Tony Scarlotta fired up, ready to go. Final session of qualifying. Tony Scarlotta wants that number 1 spot. Bill Diaz wants to better and move up and go to the number 1 spot himself. If you want to do it, you got to run better than 5:29.1 to get the number 1 spot. And Tony Scarlotta popped the burst panels on that thing out there. Bill Diaz goes 640 with a 6, 138 miles an hour after it tried to stand up out there about 350 feet. And Tony Scarlotta, it got about right before the 8th mile, it popped the burst panels. He had to get out of it. Only runs a 724 at 60 miles an hour. Hopefully it wasn't nothing that would hurt the hot rod, but Bill Diaz, I'm telling you, that thing went out there, it picked the front end up. Bill lowered it back down and tried to take his foot off of the height pedal. That thing tried to stand straight up on him. So Bill Diaz, 640, 138 miles an hour. Bill Diaz will stay in the number 3 qualifying spot. Tony Scarlotta will stay second as they go into eliminations tomorrow. All right, so listen up, Pro Comp Flats. Listen up, Pro Comp. We will not run your first round of eliminations today. We will not run your first round of eliminations today, Pro Comp Flats. The decision was made since we realized that we had one license pass that did not complete their licensing. You only have 3 rounds of eliminations tomorrow. Therefore, we will not run you first round today. It will just be Quick Eliminator and Pro Modified running first round of eliminations today. As we go into Top Alcohol Hydro, the final qualifying session of the day. It'll be Kent Price and Marty Logan. All right, so Marty Logan and the Living the Dream team out of Midlothian, Texas. He'll be coming up. Parker Brothers Roofing, left-hand lane. For House of Color Motorsports, Lucas Oil, Protect the Harvest. Turnkey Speed Shop, Oaten D, Andy Smith. FPC Services, James Brown, Judy Sheffield. Ellis County Barbecue, Dennis DeWeer to MTR Performance. NW Radio. TD's Transmission, Chris Kyle Frog Foundation, Texas Outrigger Boats, CCR Fiberglass, Marine Dynamics, and Gumby Performance, Stevie Jackson Race Cars, Michael Furr Golf Exhibitions, Dean Wingard Photo, MartyLogan.com, RFC, and RESP. Marty has been 453 with a 7 at upper in the 190 mile an hour range. Kent Price made 1 pass, went 452 at 200 miles an hour in Black Dragon, which is coming up in the Performance HVAC right-hand lane. Kent coming to us out of Porter, Texas for Onyx Services. Special thanks to Ronnie, Danny, Haskell, and Jake. A 540 cubic inch Brad Anderson Enterprises Hemi on board for Kent Price. All right, here we go. Top Alcohol Hydro. Final qualifying session. I do believe these are going to be our only 2 hydros to take this pass, to take this opportunity to finalize their tune-ups for tomorrow when we go into eliminations. Kent Price and Marty Logan. On the hold rope, capsules down. Let's go 200 miles an hour in El Reno. And how about that? 454 with a 1, 193.72 miles an hour for Kent Price. Marty Logan, 511 with an 8, 190.13 miles an hour. And Matt Schubauer goes, I don't know what that was about. Marty Logan, not the best run of the weekend for him by far. Only a 511, 190 miles an hour. Kent Price. backs up his run from earlier and goes 4:54 at 193.72 miles an hour. And now, after Top Alcohol Hydro, we are going to take a 20-minute break. We're going to take a 20-minute break, and then when we come back, it'll be quick eliminator round number 1. So during this 20 minutes, go over there, grab yourself a bite to eat. Go grab yourself a bottle of water, something to drink, something to keep you hydrated. Go grab a Drag Boat Review t-shirt, a subscription to Drag Boat Review magazine. Go grab yourself an event t-shirt for the 2021 Hunter Showdown here in El Reno, Oklahoma. I am going to go rest these vocal cords for a minute, and we'll be back with a quick eliminator round number 1 coming up in just a few. All right, so ladies and gentlemen watching on RacerH2O.com, what we're going to do is Racer H2O is going to cool down their equipment for the next 20 minutes or so. So in the next 20 minutes, come on back. The Racer H2O will be back live for Quick Eliminator round number 1. We'll see you in about 20 to 25 minutes.